There we go, that's why. Alright, so folks, if you're patiently waiting for the live stream to start, we are just... Okay, with this particular rig, the wind kind of plays heck with it, but anyway, so we're just going to go over here and we'll talk to some of the Igniters Car Club members about their cars, and a little music in between so that, yeah, you don't have to hear me trying to figure all this stuff out. But everything's working again now, so I think we should be good. All right. So, now, are you from the Libby area, Troy area? Where are you from?
I've been in Libby 40 years, but I'm from north central Montana.
Okay.
So that's where the car is from.
Okay, very cool.
It was my dad's car.
And do you mind if I ask your name?
Marge.
Marge?
Yep, Marge Kroger.
Very cool.
Yeah, so that was my dad's car. It was his third Studebaker that he had. He had a farm. He did some modifications once he got it from the franchise in Montana, and so the little twin antennas in the back are in a different place. A little weird, what I call that. Yeah, so 61, 1961 Studebaker car.
Okay.
And it, they're beautiful, aren't they? Went until 1970, and then I think the motor went out of it.
Okay.
And then it sat. There was a few farmer fixes in it that my dad did because he was a farmer.
So
I drove it to high school, and my friends when we went into town for Friday nights, the hinge on the back of the driver's seat wasn't working much anymore, so there was a suitcase that went back of the seat. And then my friends sat in the other spots, and we would cruise our little town.
That's pretty cool.
And then when Dad passed away, and Mom says, anybody going to take it and do something with it, then we brought it, we joined the Igniters, and then we brought it up and fixed it up in the Igniter shop. Gary Randall was the one that painted it for us. we learned a lot about restoring, which we knew nothing about restoring prior to that. The story that I had was my grandfather, who used to own the farm, had moved down to Caber, which is about 50 miles away from where our farm was.
Yeah.
And Mom would say, well, just go ahead and take the Studebaker. Take the Studebaker. Yeah, take the Studebaker and just go head down. Just take it with you. And at that time, of course, it was running probably a lot better than the way we fixed it up. It does a pretty good job. And he says, yeah, I would be going along on the highway, which was paved and stuff, and I'd look down, I was going 90, and here he is, like 81 years old or something like that, and like, oh my gosh. So anyway, yeah, it can move down the road. Still can do 70 pretty well.
Awesome.
It's manual, 3 on the tree, and it's a 289 Studebaker engine for anybody that cares about that. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very cool. So how many years total have you had it now, including high school, do you know?
Well, I think we're coming on 60 years that Dad bought it.
Yeah.
So that would have been about 50 years since I drove it to high school.
Very cool. So now, who all put work into fixing it up?
My husband did probably 90% of the work, along with myself doing some, but he did a lot of the work. So a lot of the little pounding out of things and making sure that it was smooth because it's black. And
Yeah.
someone said, oh, how come you're doing black? I says, well, because it was black. We want to bring it back to what it originally was. Well, then you're going to have to work really hard because everything will show. So actually, if you're going to do your first car of restoring, then black's going to teach you a lot of things. So that's what we did. But
so as far as restoring it, how much work did you have to put into it? What
I
shape
think
was
we
it in?
did 3 years. I mean, we tore it all the way down. The frame was fairly beat up because I grew up on a gravel road, so we just ran it, whatever we needed to do, and the gravel just did its job. And there's one time when I actually went into the ditch. I didn't roll it or anything, but all of that stuff I'm sure wasn't good for the frame. We went to go get it powder coated, get the frame powder coated, just to have it hold up that much longer. The guy says, should I take out some of these splatters and whatever of steel? And my husband says, nope, that's the way Studebaker did it. Just leave them there. And
That's awesome.
yeah.
That's so cool. So is this something that you only bring out in the summer, kind of?
Yeah. Car shows. There's less car shows around than when we first started into the club in about 2005 that are around the area, Canada, Thompson Falls. Some of them aren't doing car shows anymore because of just not getting the support maybe that they needed from their own hometown.
Yeah.
So fortunately with the igniters, ours has just kept picking up. But yeah, we drive it a little bit in and out, but it sits inside. It won't melt if we take it out in the rain, like some people might think of their cars. But yeah, we're kind of careful, try to keep it going a little longer.
Pretty cool. So now, do you know much about the engine?
I don't. I'd have to get my husband over here if we're going to
Think
do
you'd be
anything.
willing to tell me much about
I'm pretty sure, yeah. Hold
Okay.
on. Wayne? You want us to have some information about the engine, so maybe you can help with that. So
I don't know if you can tell me a little bit about the engine. Now, I'll be honest, I don't know a lot about engines, and I know nothing about Studebaker engines. So is there anything that makes this special, or?
No, it's a standard Studebaker 289 engine, which is their standard V8 in the late 50s and 60s.
Yeah.
And a lot of times with the Hawk, you'll get some with superchargers. Well, this one is just a normal engine, so it's 4-barrel. It came straight from the factory with a 4-barrel on it and stuff.
So now, how much work? She was talking a little bit about the overall restoration. How much work did you have to do to get it running and keep it running?
The engine is brand new.
Okay.
Because her dad had pulled the old engine for some reason or another, and then he had bought a new what they call short block engine, and it sat in his shop for 35 years. And so when we picked up the car, we had the engine also. So it was just a matter of going through his pile of stuff in his shop and finding all the parts and stuff that belonged to it. So, and most of the parts we found. Some there are a lot of parts available through various Studebaker parts dealers, which are so parts are readily available.
So now, with the Studebaker, is this the kind of car that takes a lot of maintenance, or is it pretty
No,
easy?
it's pretty. I mean, it pretty much takes care of itself. You know, with any old car, you've got a lot more maintenance than today's cars. You know, you don't run the oil 5,000 miles and stuff like that, and you've got to grease all the drive line and steering gears and all that stuff needs greased and at a regular basis and stuff. So, but yeah, it's not terrible to maintain.
Excellent. Well, greatly appreciate you taking
All right.
the time to talk with me.
You bet.
Thank you.
Thanks for doing this.
Oh, my pleasure. Yeah, we're going to go and take a little look around the car real quick. Get a few different angles that we didn't get earlier.
Right, exactly.
All right, folks, so gonna put the music back on for just a second while we go and see if there's anybody else who'd like to talk about the car today. All right, so folks, we are here with one of the gentlemen who helped get this whole thing organized. And make sure I got you in focus here. So, well, actually, if you just want to go ahead and give your name.
Kenny Rayom Jr.
Okay.
Yes.
And how did this all get started?
Memorial Day weekend. I was sitting and having a adult beverage with Keith Russell.
Yeah.
And we just got to talking about trying to organize something for the community of Libby. And we were going to put it all and pay for it all ourselves, and businesses found out that they could help, and it in 4 weeks we put this together. And
That's awesome.
It happened so fast I don't even remember everything we did. We never had any time to overthink anything.
Yeah.
And it all came together, and it turned out what it was. And the great people of Libby and all of the business owners really stepped up to handle their portions of it. I met with the Igniters Car Club, which I'm a member of.
Yeah.
But the people sitting down there, we will absolutely run the car show for you, and just
that's
coordinated
awesome.
the leads of people. Julie Mason with the VFW found out we were doing stuff and wanted vendors, and she handled all the vendors. And Kay Hargrove, and she had, lined everybody out. We got the professionals involved where they needed to be.
Yeah.
And that's how it all really came together. So, and we did it for Libby, for America, for patriotism. So.
And especially in 4 weeks. I think about some of the events that people have in the summer that they're planning starting in like February.
Yeah.
That had to be a crazy 4 weeks.
It was a crazy 4 weeks, but like I said, we never had any time to overthink anything.
Yeah.
And so it was simple and to the point, and business was handled. So that's how I like to roll. I mean, if I plan too long, I'll wait till the last minute anyways. So.
Yeah.
My wife Megan was a great help. She's a great supporter, and she just keeps me on the straight and narrow. So I actually have my 15-year-old son up there is running the music and making announcements, and it's about letting the generations before us know that my generation's still here.
Yeah.
And we still support them and what our community stands for, and teaching the younger kids good values and what we need to stand for. So
very cool.
that's what happened. I don't even know what happened. It happened so fast.
Oh, excellent.
So,
Well, again, I greatly appreciate you taking the time, and
thank you.
I'll let you get back to running this.
All right,
thing.
I appreciate it. I got about 5 more minutes to enjoy it.
Yeah.
Some business, and then back to enjoying it. So,
All right.
thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, what do you want to know about the car?
Well, first of all, if I can just ask your name.
It's Mel Bloom, and it's 78 Plymouth
Okay.
Fury Sport Coupe.
And now, are you Libby area resident, or?
I've lived in Libby since 1947.
Very cool. Wow. That's not many years after my mom was born. So now, this particular car, how long have you had
We
it?
bought it in 1985. We're second owner.
Okay. Very cool. And I mean, yeah, it's definitely not. I mean, I guess I wouldn't say it's unusual amongst like some stuff I'm used to seeing with car shows and whatnot. What about this particular car?
It's somewhat rare. There's not a lot of the sports around.
Yeah.
It was a sport.
Okay. So what can you tell me about this car?
Well, what do you want to know? It's got a 318 engine,
Okay.
4-barrel carb dual exhaust, and highway patrol suspension.
All right.
And we don't know why. When I started to rebuild the suspension, I had to take all my parts back and get highway patrol stuff because it was heavy duty.
That's interesting.
And it's just kind of unusual. I don't know. We don't know why it's that way.
So I assume now you just weren't able to get a hold of the first owner and find out, or it just wasn't something that.
At the time, it wasn't important.
Yeah.
We drove it for years. Went to New Mexico with it on a vacation.
Wow. So what about a sport sets it apart?
Well, it was a little more luxury, and it was just a separate model.
Okay.
And they just didn't make a great amount of them.
Okay. Very cool. What's your favorite thing about this car?
Everything. I love it. we just.
Well, and you're saying, I mean, you took it on.
Our great grandkids like it really well because they say it's cushy.
I was gonna say, you said you took it all the way to New Mexico. It's got to be a comfortable car.
Oh yeah, and it drives really well. You cruise whatever you want. Gets good gas mileage.
Really?
It's just a nice car.
What does it get for gas mileage?
About 21.
Really? Wow.
Anywhere between 19 and 21 on the highway. A lot of times we get 21.
Still, given I mean the time frame, and the age of the car, and everything.
Yeah.
So what all have you had to do on it over the years?
Just do the normal maintenance.
Yeah.
To keep it tuned up and change the oil and filter. No, nothing. I haven't done anything major to it.
Very cool. All right. Well, I'm gonna just sort of do a little circle of the car and show it off a little bit, if you don't mind.
Sure.
Really appreciate it. Thank you.
And then what happens to this?
Well, this is actually going up on YouTube.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So this is my my domain.
Yeah.
If you go there, go straight to my YouTube channel, nwmtnow.org. So, yeah, this will be up there.
Okay.
Excellent. Thank you again.
one.
So we're going to go over and talk to Mr. Ron Adamsman real quick, who's here with some of his carvings. And he isn't actually carving today, he said, because he didn't want to blow sawdust all over the nice cars. But
Everybody used to call me unathletic.
hey, Mr. Adamson,
How you doing, Dan?
how are things going today?
Oh, it's going nice.
Excellent, excellent. So now, are you just out here showing off your stuff? Are you selling stuff?
Oh, it's for sale if anybody wants it.
Very cool.
A lot of people don't know I carve fish and stuff like that. So.
I've been seeing some of those. Is that something is that new, or is that something you've been doing
Oh,
for
I
a
have
while?
done them, yeah. You know, I've been in the art business for 40 some years, so
Yeah.
I've about done everything that you could do.
Very cool. So, now, I'm kind of curious, compared to some of the other stuff you do, is fish harder or easier?
Well, it's a lot of work. You got to get them smooth.
Yeah.
I mean, and that's how they start.
Yeah.
I cut them out with a chainsaw and then start sanding them down.
So this is one of your starting ones here.
Yeah.
That's kind of incredible to me that is going to become something like one of those over there.
That's the trick.
So, well, actually, now what brings you out for today in particular? Is it just with event going
Keith,
on?
the guys putting it on, invited me to come out.
Yeah.
And I thought, I might as well. I'm here.
Yeah.
Can't really go anywhere anymore
Yeah.
until the issues are resolved. So
Yeah. Because that's true. Probably a lot of events that you usually
well, they're
go
all
to.
canceled right now.
Yeah.
But I've been extremely busy, so can't complain.
That's good. Yeah. As long as you're staying busy, that's
Oh, I'm happy.
the majority of it.
Yeah, I'm all way behind in my work.
So actually, I'm kind of curious. When you heard that they were doing this, what was your thought? What was your reaction?
Well, first off, you don't know what all they have in mind.
Yeah.
And so you've got to, because I've done so many art shows for so many years, where people at the last minute want to put one on, they don't know what they're doing.
Yeah.
So you don't know how well organized it's going to be. I'm impressed this is quite well organized
Yeah.
for something that was kind of a second thought.
Oh yeah.
This is a weekend where there's always something going on, and so you expect something to be going on
Yeah.
over the 4th.
Yeah.
So I thought, good. You know, it's because people are kind of primed for that.
All right.
Anyway, and people are visiting their families at a time like this, and then they want to watch fireworks. So
Yeah.
it's kind of it all just kind of clicked. I thought that was cool.
Excellent. Well,
Remember,
my
if you want to
battery's getting low,
register,
so I'm
don't
gonna
come
run
up
out.